Yes, indeed. This is the legs of Sally Raphael McCoy. Fucking who knows? Who who knows? Who knows who I say who I'm saying I am on this video right here. Even even as I speak, I hear the windows talking at me. Shut the fuck up! Don't fucking say it. But look, doesn't everybody have the right to know the truth? Um, maybe not. Look, it really depends if you believe in this concept of rights. Rights. Like the whole thing is rights till riots, rights until there's riots. Um, what is it good for? You know, like really, what is it good for? Um, I don't know. Nah. So I want to just I want to kind of look. I don't know if hmm, what I'm going to be speaking about is really just things that we have not been allowed to talk about in any kind of context similar to those conversations we've had about other um groups. You know what I mean? Like um the historicity, the um the whole thing. Look, fuck, where do I the start is basically the behavior of how the Palestinians are behaving now is not dissimilar, certainly not to the same extent, but um look, in the early 90s, I think there would have definitely been a group of shouting um, American Jewish people somewhere doing something in defiance of some anti-Semitism, and that makes me wonder. It's like why is it Islamophobia and not Islamo-Semitism? Islam was it anti anti-Islamism, which is a lot more of what it actually is. Like calling it transphobia is almost like, well, it's not almost. It's a fucking kind of passive aggressive dig. You know what I mean? And when you fucking run at them, it's like, oh no, the meanings changed. Well, cunt, has the term phobia changed? Like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, sure, you can change the context of other words that don't have a root text to them. But seriously? Like, I've brought this up so many times, and like, no, it doesn't mean the same thing, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's like, well, if you are a person who actually understands words, and they're not just a jumble of sounds that come out of your face, do you understand how that could be offensive? It's like when Orwell becomes Orwell becomes Orwell. You know, you know what I mean? Like when it's like Seinfeld became like Seinfeld. Um, Sign felt pain when it didn't have what it wanted. You know, um, decontextualizing, recontextualizing, miscontextualizing, discontextualizing, and then recontextualizing ad infinitum. You know what I mean? Like this sped up to like a billion. Um, you know what I mean? Like that's why they're talking about quantum computing. That, like seriously, does nobody listen to me? Am I shouting into a void at this point? Like honestly, I'm not. I know I'm not. Um, unless I am. So basically, I watched when I got red pilled. My red pill moment was these two things. First, well, secondly, but the first I'll go to next or around the same time. Bright insight. Basically, you know that time when Randall and Graham were riding high. And that really caught me. He's gone, what? There was a completely different world 12,000 years ago that we know nothing about. That just blows my whole conception of reality out the window. You know what I mean? Like, um, I'm not saying anything controversial yet, so you ain't seen me, right? But yeah, before the whole thing is about what we see with this woke mind virus. It is that it's not the first mind virus. It's not by any means the first. You know what I mean? And the reason why people come out of the mind virus is because you will find most of them don't have the KKK rat Democrat mind virus, which is what the communist mind virus, which is what the Ottoman mind virus, which is what the Latin, which is the Roman mind virus. You know what I mean? This constant liberation narrative, this constant um, tyrant tyrant takeover mentality cloaked in a victim liberation narrative. Always, always, always. For instance, it's like this whole this whole thing about Hamas, about fucking Hezbollah going, oh yeah, we just started throwing bombs at Israel on October 8th because we we were protesting um the genocide of is I mean Palestinian people in Gaza, and it's like, firstly, how the fuck do you know about this already? Like, we've barely broken this to the media. How the fuck do you know, cunts? Oh, that's right. Either that, you know what I mean? Like, it's like fucking they knew because half of them were fucking riding their bicycles back to fucking Lebanon the next day with fucking bags of rice on their heads or fucking whatever, you know. Um, will these people be accountable in this world? I don't know. Is there enough? Do we have enough ketamine? Do we have enough MDMA? Do we have enough? Do we have enough time? I think so. You know, that's the whole thing we have, and I've been thinking about this. We have to go from thinking in a capital way to a corporal way. You know what I mean? Like we're not there yet. You know what I mean? Like we have to start thinking in a less punitive way, in a less of a kind of like, you know what I mean? Like we have to be civilized. We have to recognize that the internet is a big friggin' school. You know, it is. And there are still people out there who are not enrolled in that school and probably never will be. You know, so your illusions, your ideas that, oh my God, this is happening, the world's changing, blah, 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 it's not true. It's not, you know. someone 5, 7, 10 miles away from you is having a completely different one. They're having the one that you had on Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, our perception of reality is not about geography now. It's about time lapses. It's about when things drop, etc. You know what I mean? Like, there is nothing. Um, there is no there is, the whole thing of like, oh, citizens reporting. It's like, well, nigga, that's what reporting was in the first place. So the simple fact that you got from, you know what I mean, like, um there should not be an agenda, but I mean there always has been, but sometimes the agenda is truth and sometimes it's lies. I mean, the thing about, oh, do you have an agenda? Blah, blah, of course I do. My agenda is to find the truth and to listen with my heart and my mind to which side seems like the positive. You know what I mean? Like, and look, the only reason why I can think that the Hamas had such a horrible, horrible, horrible blood libel on Israel, and listen to me clearly about this. This is ancient shit. This is 1400-year-old shit. And it is things that you understand why we understand Islam, Muslim to be a cult. Um, there is true faith. Um, Look, I don't look at the last 29. Those, the Arabic who read their their Quran from the no, definitely. Those who read it from the back to the front who actually understand Arabic, they're good people. Of course they are. But those the dumb Romans who get the book and read it from the back and from the front to the back and go, "Oh, this is so deep and mystical and blah blah blah." I've got a big fucking dick in my head. You know what I mean? Like, um, these people will never learn. Um, and it's not on me to fucking explain that to them, or maybe it is. But I mean, I learned from when I reverted to Islam. Um, I took I took course by Brother Green. What was his name? Raman Green, I think. And one of the things he talked about a lot was Coca-Cola Muslims, and that is exactly the ones, the exactly the ones who are out there shouting and moaning, wearing fucking plastic keffirs. You know what I mean? Like, if they were true Palestinian people, if they were true people of that land who had actual connection to that land, their kefir would be real. Their kefir would be their uncles. You know what I mean? Like, um, and you know, all that would mean is that when you threw it, when they accidentally lit themselves on fire, that one burns up faster. I don't know. Um, so yeah, look, um, the fact is, um, since 1848, when the Communist Manifesto was published by Santa Claus himself, Karl Marx, um, you know, Santa Claus. Seriously, look it up. Look at Santa Claus, the archetype Santa Claus, who was created by Coca Cola, um, and then of Karl Marx, and tell me there is not something about that. And then think about all the Santa Claus you see on the street or whatever, overweight, white, alcoholic men with big beards. who wear red, and not like Republican red, like fucking made in China red, Santa suits that stink of piss. That's why they smell of like air freshener. um, yeah, it was so cool on an earlier stream tonight. I did something on my phone. Like I don't know if I'll ever be able to replicate it again, but I managed to get it so that my slave phone was playing through this one. It was such a cool effect. It was so cool. Um, but these things are fun to tinker around with. So yeah, I'll try and make this a half-hour video. Um, but basically, there's a conflation, like Israel, Judaism, um, Hebrew, Orthodox, Orthodox Hebrew. You know what I mean? And there's a conflation because and Zionism, Zionists. Um, and look, Zionists. Yeah, I guess in that fuck, it's this whole argument falls apart with Zionism as like it's like you think look, I don't know, fuck, yeah, it's interesting. It's like the whole thing was like all people, like all good people of faith in the world, their home is where their hearts are, and at the end of the day, if they have a homeland, that they can visit and enjoy and know that that is a place that will always be sanctuary for them. Um, that's a good thing, right? The simple fact that at the time the British and these stupid fucking Romani men um, are carving up the Middle East, slapping these fucking stupid white man names on all these ancient lands just because they had better weapons and bombs and fucking all this shit and fucking lawyers. You know, and now 75 years later nobody's even heard of Gandhi. you know has anyone heard of Nelson Mandela? Has it, maybe Nelson Mandela. He is a fucking crook. I don't know, man. There was a fucking dude at my church when I was a kid who looked heaps like Nelson Mandela. Heaps. Maybe it was his bro. Maybe it was his body double. I don't know. Do you know Snake Eyes? Do you know Snake Eyes? Oh well. Um, but yeah, no, it's interesting because I saw somewhere that was like really coincidentally, revolution flared up in 1848, and it's like no, because Carl Santa Claus Marx, um, fucking shit. Ah, talking about Santa Claus, chickadee chickadee bam. Oh, so good. Yeah, getting back to it. Let's flip up the moods. Bit of Kale and Mickler. Love a bit of Kale and Mickler. Oh, yeah. Let's have a break. Coming in at a tight sitcom. I haven't played around with this effect much, if at all. Motherfucker. It's like, did you see Triangle of Sadness? Triangle of Sadness kind of explains this really, really well. The way a communist captain, communist American, and a capitalist Russian can be best of friends. You know, um, because we all into the Ponzi. We all got sold on a dream. We all got sold on a better future, you know. And for me, it was always, oh, I'll move to Europe, blah 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 blah, you know. And then I'll move here, and then I'll move here, and then I'll move here, and then I'll move here. All these pipe dreams of a better future, you know. And we're all sold them, you know. If you're this, you'll be this. If you're that, you'll be that. If you win this, you'll be this. If you know, if you chew on the cock, you'll become a rock, you know? Like, what is it? I honestly don't know. It's a bit too Celtic for me. Oh, yeah. So basically, what I wanted to say was liberation narratives always have a cult formation behind them. In the case of Israel and Zion, it is a cult. It is a cult of Zion. It is a deceptive, um, cynical, um, manipulative ethos of thinking. And Zionism is not um, the concept of Zion comes from Mount Zion, but it is not about Mount Zion. You know what I mean? Like wherever there are stories of a land lost and forgotten and all these things, then that is a Zion. You know what I mean? Like Mecca, it is a Mecca. You know, it's the same thing. You know, um, and that's interesting that they should only call it Zionism in those cases. You know, when does it become, you know, where when the sand monkeys get run out of the Middle East. Well, that's it, they've infiltrated the West. And then at what point do they go, oh, it's the Holy Land again? What, when it's been repopulated with good, hard, honest people? Is that what's gonna happen? The whole thing is these fuckers get lure they lure people into the Middle East. Like the whole thing was, who, you know, like it was Zionists who signed in the land of Palestine to Israel, to um the Hebrew people, you know. And yet it's the same organizations that signed, that pushed for the Hebrew people to have Israel in the Middle East, who are now baying for their blood, who are now saying that they are the war criminals. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, um, when when the true Zionists wanted, you know, when Hitler wanted to send the Hebrew people to Madagascar, or the Yiddish or whatever to Madagascar, And that's another thing, you know, like um, the the Semitic people of, or well, yeah, no, I don't think they were so much Semitic um in Weimar Germany, Weimar Republic, because the 13th tribe, which is not spoken about, nobody wants to admit that this is a case, that like throughout the, you know, at one point in time, there was a diversion in Judaism, similar to the Reformation in Christianity, and it's not really spoken about because basically I believe it was in the 7th century AD, the century after Muhammad. Basically they're called the Khazar, Khazar, in kind of Bulgaria, Romania, that kind of area, like southeast Europe, you know, middle southeast Europe. Those countries, they all became, well, under the Khazar Empire, they became Jewish because the Christian, because they were looking for a new leadership structure, and the Christian got poisoned on the way, and the Muslim, they wanted to keep on drinking. So Islam wasn't a fit. So they chose Judaism, you know, best of both worlds or whatever. And they thrived, like it was, well, it was exactly the same time as the golden age of Islam, the golden age of Islam, because I guess because the Jewish people, the Hebrew people of the 13th tribe of Khazar didn't have that blood bond to the Middle East to bear with dealing with Muslims. Maybe they were naive. Maybe they gave them more. You know what I mean? Like, it's difficult to say with the Khazar how they interacted with the golden age in Spain and things like that. Um, and yeah, it's interesting because when they talk about, like, it's funny because when I first learned about the golden age of Islam, it was, again, it was kind of like it was almost like a Zion kind of thing. It's like, oh, Islam had this golden age a millennium ago, and it turns out all they were doing was like stealing Jewish ideas or transcribing them into Arabic. You know, that's really cool. So yeah, it's really really interesting, um, because when you think about how our conception of truth and information and things has really been tested, and our concept of reality and what is expected to be told to be officially true and things, and you know the questioning of the fact checkers and all these things, like it's like who gives people the right to have an omnipotence? You know, the fact that one person had an experience does not negate the fact that another person had a different fucking experience. You know, again, narratives negate a universality of experience. The fact that like two different experiences don't have to negate each other. Unless there is a liar. And oh, there are liars. And luckily they're not on our team, I do believe. Well, you would hope so. So the simple fact is, um, I love Israel. I love the Hebrew people. I love the their tenacity and their ability to live on and to thrive in their lane, you know, and be good people of faith. The sad thing is, I know that they could live and achieve and love and have an amazing life somewhere else, probably to a more successful point. You know what I mean? Like not having these duplicitous Arabic people. Um, well, I don't know. You hope not. Um, and look, I apologize because that's racist. Um, I do apologize. Um, but I don't know. There's more to be revealed. All I mean to say is Rothschilds. Um, you know, all these, all the anti-Semitic tropes that we were told were rubbish by exactly the same people who are throwing a different trope at them now. The whole Hitler trope. Um, so it's interesting. Like the whole thing is the 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 ambulance chasing, gold digging, money obsessed, yid is still it is a cliche. It's an archetype. The yid, you know, the Yiddish. They're not they aren't Hebrew people. And but they're Jewish, you know, and you know it is what it is. Um, and the simple fact it is a good thing that Israel is in the Middle East, but maybe they need some territories. Why, you know, it's like, well, sure they're allowed to have their motherland, their homeland. Well, how about are there any Israeli territories? Are these interesting questions? Has this been an informative kind of 40 minutes? Because I'm gonna wrap it up now. Um, and in 5 seconds, you will open your eyes. Listen to my voice and take a deep breath in. And out as your throat from talking for a solid 40 fucking minutes begins to slowly and easily and gently just begin to loosen up and feel a bit fucking better. Oh my god, my throat. Goodness gravy. Goodness gravy and the wavy davies. So all I mean to say is, if you think about all the things that you have been lied to in your lifetime, start to question what may have been the truth and may have been factionalization of myth and ritual and participations and things, you know. Yeah, and follow the money and be curious and look into Ponzi schemes. Like Ponzi is a classic Yiddish thing, you know. Canada is the home of Yids. And I hope I'm not being racist, because I'm not being racist towards Hebrews. And if I'm being racist towards Yiddish, well, fuck them, you know. Yids. You know. Yids are fucking people who expect to go to Israel and just speak Yiddish. Like maybe Israel should have an independent state in North America. Maybe they should be given Palestine in Illinois. Why not? Just say, yeah, okay, you guys can have it. They can have their dirty piece of fucking desert. That'll be a fucking burning tire dumpster in like 3 years if the Hebrew people evacuate. Seriously, President Trump, promise Palestine, Illinois to the Hebrew people, to the people of Israel, and say if they want to get the fuck out of the Middle East, just move to Illinois. And it can be the Free State of Israel, you know. And also make Palestine, Texas, like a principality of Israel, you know. Um, because the Hebrew people deserve more than this. You know what I mean? Like the simple fact that they are the roots and bones of the United States of America as much as anybody else, if not more. And yet, when push comes to shove, they are thrown under the bus by the institutions that they fought so strongly and bravely to create in the first place. And it's like people who know like a tenth, if not 100th, of the knowledge what I do learn in a day, calling themselves doctors, calling themselves professors. There is no rigorous. It's like when I went to school, it was a struggle. It was a fucking struggle to get through a 3-year degree. You know, I got my degree in 2006. I got my certificate in '07, but I finished in 2006. I started in 2002. It was fucking hard yakka. When you know, what are you studying? Oh, the perpetual discourse nature of substructural blah blah blah, and it's like, okay, that's an interesting subject. What's your you know, what what's what's your what are you declaring? Like, is it, you know, poli sci, etc., etc.? It's like, fucking idiot. Do you even know that, like, this isn't just fucking another subject that, this isn't just another fucking high school, is it? This is actually meant to be, you know, higher education, tertiary education. Yeah. So it's really, really, really unfortunate. The whole thing was the UN expected the fucking stupid Hebes to march into the desert and die there. On my word, that's what they probably hoped for. And then when they realized that wasn't going to happen, the whole thing happened in 48. And then, yeah, they've been fucking butthurt ever since. And they've been butthurt. This was going to say they've been butthurt ever since the Hebrew people told Muhammad, "Go away. You're not the final prophet, mate. You know what I mean? You are not the seal of the prophets. You know, there will be more after you. There will be more during your lifetime. Prophecy is not something that you keep. Prophecy is not something you have a key to that you throw away and let nobody else have. That is bollocks. You know? That's what I think. And the simple fact that someone says these things shows that it's a cult, shows that it's about power, and it's about mind control. It's about, you know, blowing up fucking buses in Tel Aviv and making people glad that they're about to die. You know, that is really, really fucking scary shit if you think about it. If you think about what our lives are about our ambition, right? Our lives are about making everybody's world a better place. You know, and these people's lives, yalla, 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 fucking, give me my 12,000 virgins now or whatever, you know? 72, 12,000. They'll still just fucking rape all of them, I guess. Okay, a premium, not quite a HBO, but a premium cable. 50 minutes, coming in nicely, guys. Thank you soon. Tuxanu. Bye bye.